Today is Monday, August the 9th, and just a very quick video to show you that the market is really in a bit of a stagnation mode here. We've got a lot of days, maybe more than a week, where we're just hanging around the neutral line on the McClellan oscillator, unable to break up and unable to break down. And the result is that the McClellan oscillator today was just barely above zero. But the summation index, which adds the McClellan oscillator value to the summation index value from the day before, has really gone flat. And here's a period of flatness where we moved up. Here's a period of flatness, but that was at the top where we moved down. So these periods of flatness are typically areas where the summation index will revert or move back in the opposite direction. Remember that this low number usually precedes a 3 to 6 month forward downturn in the market, which is something that everybody is expecting, because when we look at the charts, we see that the Dow Jones pulled back from its high. So it's really been struggling with this high now ever since July the 25th, so a couple of weeks. But the Chico span is still looking for support around the 3482 area as it moves in here for the rest of the week. The NASDAQ made a high on Thursday, was not able to reach that high today. So we've got, again, the same thing since July the 23rd. We've really had the market trying 1, 2, 3, 4 times now to break that high, and it's unable to. The SPX is doing the same since July the 23rd, unable to make new highs. The longer it struggles, the less likelihood it has. Buyers are just going to give up, and we could have a pullback where we see the 50 now coming into the cloud. And we've always watched those kind of coincidences in the past, and we should do so again. The volatility index, however, tells us that things are rosy for the market, that there is decreasing fear, and that upwards trend line that we talked about in the last video has now been broken for 3 days. Our key stocks, Apple is building this pennant, which should break higher. Abbott, support on the cloud. Caterpillar playing in between the 50 and the 200. I bought another 100 shares today. I think that it's a stock that's going to benefit from the infrastructure, especially if there's a Made in America push on spending that money. And we've got the slower moving stochastic now has really bottomed out for some time, and is due for a move upwards. IBM struggled here, kept its support of the 50, now dropped below the 50, and today had a rejection on the 50. So that's not a good sign for IBM. But I think, as I tweeted, today was ex-dividend day. So with the stock being down $2.84, I believe the dividend was $1.11. So that oversold beyond the value of the dividend. JP Morgan, look at this, support pretty much on the bottom of the cloud here on Friday. Good day today. And US Bank pretty much supporting by the 50, bottom of the cloud. So we're seeing both banks now, one getting support on the flat cloud, and the other bank, number 5 big bank, or the largest of the regional banks, having trouble breaking into the cloud. NIO was a bit of a star today. Took that bounce Friday off the support on the 50, has been playing with the 50 now ever since August the 2nd, so pretty much all of last week, and we're in the cloud. But look at the Chico span. The Chico span back here did get support on the 50 and took a bounce. NIO going into SAVA, that's our dementia stock, and we had it pull back. This was a gap, came back, filled the gap, and now is broken through the gap. So that gap is closed, and SAVA is at 100%, which is where we drew our Fibonacci here before a pullback just above 61.8%. but the 50. Then we moved up to 138.2, so that looks like it could be a good Fibonacci set. Came down to get support on the cloud and support on the 61.8. So this, has 3 points now, confirming that it's a good Fibonacci. And the next area of resistance is going to be 107.55. We didn't quite hit that today. And the other stock that I'm invested in, Square, is just rocketing higher. It's got support on the 8 EMA. Now, last Friday, I lost all of my shares because I had short 250 calls, and I've been holding those calls for a long time. So the stock was bound to be taken from me. It just happened very quickly. So I got back into the stock last week on Monday or Tuesday, bought the same amount of shares that I had before, 800, but sold this week's 280 calls for $7 and $8 on 2 lots of 400. So my break even this week on Square will be 287, 288. It closed today at 279, but it did have a high of 286.71. So that's it for today. Maybe one more. Z's, Zoom Info, that we looked at quite some time ago, and for the longest time we had an alert right here, and I just got tired of it not being able to break, and then look what happened. It took off. If we applied a Fibonacci to this, we might see something there. Might, don't know. But boy, if you were into Zoom Info, it did quite well. I would say it's time to get out and get back in again. Maybe when it breaks 67.13.